I'm going to read from my novel. The title is A Tree in Its Shadow. I remember the day we told Darla's parents she was pregnant. It was the most nervous I'd ever seen her. She usually kept cool, but that day she couldn't hide it. We'd already planned to move in together. We'd found a nice lower flat in NDG, south of Sherbrooke Street. North of Sherbrooke, the houses had yards or driveways, but down south, the buildings were jammed in, cheek by jowl, all the way to the train tracks. Darla toned down her look, a heck of a lot closer to the style she wore to work at the restaurant. She wanted me to do the same. Of course she did. She was going to introduce me to her parents and her family and tell them she was pregnant. They already thought she was a big screw-up. She told me that. With all the pressure on her, she wanted to be able to say to them that she could handle the situation. She wanted to say that she was proud. But she went at me the wrong way with those little comments. Are you going to wear that shirt? Where are those other shoes that you have? Of course I knew her parents were going to be looking at me. They're going to be taking a close look at me, and to tell the truth, I was probably ashamed of what I had to wear. But there was no way I was going to put on the dog for those people. I was going to fight fire with indifference. But at the same time, if they were going to judge me, I sure as hell was going to be judging them right back. I was so selfish. That day shouldn't have been about me, but everything was about me. Everything was subject to my judgment. Everything was significant. I just needed to be there for her, to make sure that her family knew I was in. But hell, I wasn't even sure of that myself. No wonder she was so nervous. We got on the metro and she said, "You know, Lulu wants me to go to IKEA with her." I snorted, as if. She peeked at me out of the corner of her eye. I know, IKEA. Although they do have some good things for babies. Yeah, I was looking for a crib at the Salvation Army by Wilson Avenue, but all the stuff there is so dirty. I could tell by her tone that she had the conversation all planned out. Nothing wrong with a few dings, better than cheap plastic stuff. Her leg was bouncing. I should have taken that as a hint. I should have known there was something to be nervous about, but I was too fixated on quashing a trip to IKEA. I started playing with her confidence. I let my eye wander over to this Asian girl sitting on the other side of the metro car. She was wearing a tight red scoop neck t-shirt. This quieted her, but only for about 90 seconds. "Can you believe we're having a baby?" I nodded my head, not fully engaging. "Have you thought of any names?" No, not really. Have you?" She smiled, a secret, self-contained smile, and said, "A couple." "Well, like what?" She let me wait for a bit. "All right," she said. "Well, if it's a girl, I like Natalie." "Well, that's not bad." "No!" I looked at her surprised. "What?" "Because that wasn't my real one. I gave you one of my throwaway names because I thought you were just going to say no right away." She put her hand on my face. "Do you really like Natalie for a sweet little baby girl?" Her eyes were drilling into me, forbidding me to use a mask. "No, I'm just saying that to make you feel better." She slapped my arm. "Prick face? Okay, now you have to tell me one of yours. I know you have one." Wait. Tell me another one of yours. I need a second here to think. It was nice to be having this conversation on the metro. It felt right to be talking about something so intimate, so casually, in the presence of the most transient of transit strangers. "No, I'm sorry, Eth. You have to give me one now. I haven't thought of any." She turned away from me. She stared out the window with a fierce, imperious reserve. She watched the blue lights flashing in the tunnels. She waited me out. "Okay," I finally said, "for a girl, I like Barry." "Look who didn't have any names, look who didn't think of any." And she reached for my belly with these tickly fingers. "That's so sweet, baby. I love you, but I hate that name." "What?" I was surprised how wounded I was. "Barry's great, it's different and cool." She indulged me on the point. "For a boy or a girl?" A girl, of course, I said that. Okay, well, that's okay, I guess. But still, no, it sounds too much like Barry. And that's a name for a guy with bad teeth and a toupee who smokes too much. That's so sweet though, babe. I started to pout. She did that thing that helped us through so many of our problems. She put her hand flat on my chest and she made me come out. She said, hey, you are not allowed to be mad. Sorry, that's part of it. Like it was written in a rule book somewhere. And the way she said it, I accepted that it was. Okay, what else have you got then? Well, if it's a boy, Peter. She looked at me and smiled as I tried to decide if it was a real or a throwaway name. She was so much smarter than I was. She put so much more thought into things than I did. And that comforted me. She was like a Gary that I didn't have to compete with, somebody I could just trust. Is that a throwaway? I'm not telling. You want to name him after our drummer, PT, then, do you? We'll call him PT Jr.? She waved her finger at me. No, if anything, it'll be Peter. You said if anything, and that means it's a throwaway. Not necessarily. I love that girl. I know how nervous she must have been that day, but somehow she let it go and she sparred so lithely with me. We were young and dumb and scared, and we only half knew it. I needed something real from her, though, in that moment. I didn't care what. I said, no shit now. Give me a real one, your real name. No shit? No shit. Okay. For a girl, then, I like Gloria. At first, it felt a touch cheesy, like the song, but then I heard the word glory transmuted to the feminine, and I said it. Gloria.